Number 1. Air pollution at alarming levels. Would you be willing to trade 7 years of your life to live in Lahore? Breathing here is akin to smoking several packs of cigarettes a day, which will take a toll on your health. This is Pakistan's second largest city, with over 13 million residents, and it frequently ranks among the most polluted cities in the world. For many years, Lahore has been in fierce competition for the top spot in global air pollution, with names like Dhaka and Delhi, which are almost interchangeable in holding the title of the most suffocating places on Earth. Stepping out onto the streets of Lahore, the first thing you notice is the air filled with fine dust, vehicle exhaust, and industrial emissions, creating a thick, gray haze that lingers throughout the day. In winter, the smog can be so dense that many mornings, people cannot see the sun clearly. One of the major contributors to this pollution is traffic. Lahore alone has over 6.2 million vehicles on the road, of which about 2 million are motorcycles. Most of the vehicles are old, poorly maintained, and there are virtually no strict emissions control standards. Buses and trucks emit thick black smoke every time they accelerate. The sound of honking horns fills the air from dawn until dusk. But the dust doesn't just come from vehicles. Household waste also exacerbates the suffocating air quality. Lahore has almost no public trash bins. Garbage is dumped in piles along the roadside, under bridges, and near residential areas. On sunny days, the stench and toxic fumes rise. When the wind blows, light trash and dust fly directly into food markets. Flies are everywhere, from street vendors to large markets. What's alarming is that the residents have become so accustomed to this scene that they no longer see it as unusual. So, what do you eat in a city like this? Food safety in Lahore is almost a luxury concept. Meat is hung outside, exposed directly to dust and emissions. Poultry is slaughtered right on the street, amidst heavy traffic. Vendors use bare hands, without gloves or hand-washing facilities. All of this is starkly reflected in the numbers. The PM2.5 levels in Lahore frequently fluctuate between 300 and 400. Meanwhile, the safe levels recommended by the WHO are only 2025. This means the air here is polluted at about 16 times the acceptable limit. These conditions have a direct impact on the lives of the people here. It is estimated that around 128,000 Pakistanis die prematurely each year due to air pollution, primarily from lung diseases, asthma, and cancer. In major cities like Lahore, the average lifespan can be reduced by about 7 years compared to the national average. On days when pollution peaks, authorities are forced to close schools because children cannot breathe safely outdoors. What is most haunting is not just the dust, but the fact that it has become an integral part of daily life. Signboards, goods, and eateries are always covered in a layer of brown-gray. Vendors continuously wipe down their products, but just a few minutes later, the dust returns. Number 2. Street food of Pakistan. Do you consider yourself a foodie who isn't afraid of challenges? Don't be too quick to affirm until you've faced a breakfast in Pakistan. Here, the cuisine is a true test of your digestive system. Upon arrival, you'll encounter a gigantic cast-iron pan where chefs continuously chop various beef or lamb organs like hearts, livers, kidneys, and brains, even parts that many other cuisines would never serve. This famous dish is called cat, named after the sound made by 2 knives chopping meat on a cutting board, producing a relentless cat-cat noise. While the ingredients may sound intimidating, this dish is quite popular in Pakistan, where they utilize every edible part of the animal, ensuring nothing goes to waste. If cat assaults your sight and hearing, then paya, a stew made from cow or sheep feet, presents a challenge for your sense of touch. The feet are simmered for hours, sometimes overnight, until the collagen breaks down into a thick broth. When eating, you have to gnaw on the intact hooves, with a slimy sensation enveloping your mouth. For many travelers, this texture can be even more difficult to swallow than the spiciness. Speaking of spice, don't confuse Pakistani cuisine with the spicy, sweet, sour, and salty combinations of fresh chilies, lemongrass, and lime found in Thai food, or the hot, sweet aftertaste and rich flavor of Korean chili sauce. Here, the chili powder is extremely potent, combined with large amounts of cloves, cinnamon, star anise, and cardamom. The heat doesn't just linger on the tongue, it travels down the esophagus and stomach, leaving a burning sensation that can last for hours after the meal. Many describe it as a fiery warmth from within, rather than just mouth heat. Moreover, Pakistanis have a habit of using oil and fat in quantities that can astonish outsiders. In curries or karahi dishes, the layer of oil on the surface can be as thick as 2 to 3 centimeters. Here, a lot of oil is not seen as excessive, but rather a sign of a premium and hearty dish. Another challenge is magaz masala, a dish made from cow or sheep brains typically eaten for breakfast. The brain retains its recognizable shape on the plate, soft and fatty. Seeing a brain in front of you at 7 a.m. can be quite a psychological shock for many travelers, even though locals consider it a nutritious dish. And then there's the factor that makes many people give up: the hygiene of street food. Meat and food are displayed right next to the road, uncovered, collecting dust and vehicle exhaust. Flies swarm so thickly that vendors have to fan them away constantly. In many places, bowls and plates are only rinsed in a murky basin that has been used repeatedly. Coupled with the habit of eating with bare hands, without gloves or frequent hand washing, this is a nightmare for those with high hygiene standards. Finally, there's the drinking water. Ice and tap water from street vendors in Pakistan are the ultimate test. Water is often taken directly from inadequately treated tap sources or outdoor storage tanks. Ice is made from blocks of frozen water of unknown origin, placed next to raw meat, fresh fish, and waste. Just one glass of ice water or a sip of unbottled water can lead many to experience stomach pain, diarrhea, or fever within 24 hours. Among the dishes mentioned, is there anything you would dare to try? Let me know your answer in the comments. Number 3. Humans coexist with animals and waste. What would it be like if every morning, stepping out onto the street, you encountered not only a stream of vehicles but also horse-drawn carts, stray dogs and cats, and sometimes even emaciated cows blocking the road? In many urban areas of Pakistan, especially in Lahore, this scene is not uncommon. Animals coexist with humans in the city. They scavenge for food, drink from sewage, and sleep right under vehicles. Venturing a few streets deeper, you will notice the deteriorating urban infrastructure evident in every meter of the road. Open manhole covers sit right in the middle of the walkway. Wastewater flows along the edge of the street, mingling with household garbage and mud. A foul smell permeates the air all day long. This is not a construction site. It is where people live every day. Looking up, you will see another maze. Wires crisscross between houses, hanging at head height across narrow alleys. These tangled bundles of black wires, patched together, stretch from one house to another, existing as a temporary solution that has persisted for decades. During the rainy season, they pose a danger to both humans and animals in the area. Back on the ground, you will see many children. They play in narrow alleys where garbage piles up and wastewater flows right beneath their feet. They have no parks or playgrounds to run around in. Their play areas are the trash-filled alleys, where motorcycles pass closely by, and where wastewater and garbage are just beside them. Children play with whatever is available around them, like old tires, plastic bottles, and scraps of wood. What's noteworthy is that all of these elements do not exist in isolation. Together, they create an overloaded urban environment where infrastructure cannot keep pace with the population, and temporary solutions gradually become a permanent state. When a city has to accommodate millions of people in a limited space, what confuses many visitors is the attitude of the locals. Despite living in such an environment, they remain friendly, cheerful, and optimistic. Number 4. A private space for Pakistani women. If you are born a woman in Pakistan, your body may dictate what you are allowed to do, where you can go, and when. However, it is remarkable that even in a society rife with injustices against women, there exist communities with a completely different perspective. When people think of Pakistani women, many immediately envision a modest, quiet figure under strict control. On the streets of Pakistan, women often do not draw attention with their clothing or makeup. They dress conservatively, in muted colors, with thick hair. But do not mistake this for weakness. Amidst the bustling crowds, dust, and the cacophony of honking cars, Pakistani women move quickly and decisively. They are accustomed to navigating challenges, thriving in cramped spaces and under pressure. This strength stems from their circumstances. In much of Pakistan, women grow up with very little decision-making power over their own lives. Early marriage remains common, especially in rural areas. Many girls marry before the age of 18, which means leaving school and stepping directly into the roles of wife and mother. After marriage, most women do not have control over their own finances. Family assets are often registered in the name of their husbands or their husbands' families. Working, continuing education, or even going out alone in many areas still requires permission. Domestic violence is also a prevalent issue. Many women choose to remain silent, as speaking out is often seen as tarnishing the family's honor. In this context, women's bodies are frequently viewed as something to endure and adapt to, rarely prioritized for rest or care. However, in the northern mountainous regions, among the Kalish community, there exists a special space for women known as bashali. This is a private house, separate from the communal living areas. Women go there during menstruation or childbirth. At first glance, many might think of isolation or stigma, but in reality, this space is considered sacred, where they are allowed to pause all work. During their time in Bashali, they do not have to cook, do housework, or care for anyone else. Their families bring food, water, and supplies directly to them. No one pressures them to return until their bodies have truly recovered. For the Kalash, a woman's biological cycle is seen as a time when her body possesses strong energy, necessitating separation to restore balance. Leaving the communal living space protects women from labor and stress during this sensitive time. Bashali is also a place for women to converse with one another. They share experiences about childbirth, health, marriage, and family life. For many, it is a rare time in the year when they are allowed to rest. Number 5. Spiritual beliefs that influence life in Pakistan. In Pakistan, you will never have to endure loneliness, as there will always be an invisible world by your side accompanying you. In the spiritual life of Pakistanis, according to Islamic belief, the soul is a being created from invisible fire, existing parallel to humans. People believe that the soul, known as jinn, can cause illnesses, especially those difficult to explain, such as depression, epilepsy, paranoia, prolonged insomnia, or infertility. When someone exhibits unusual symptoms, the first reaction of many families is not to take them to a doctor, but to check if they are possessed by a jinn. From this belief, the role of exorcists, known as pir and fakir, becomes extremely significant. Pirs are seen as individuals with special spiritual powers who can communicate with the invisible world. Fakirs often lead a life of asceticism and wandering, yet are believed to have the ability to heal through reciting scriptures, performing rituals, or blessing with holy water. In many impoverished areas, especially in rural regions, pirs hold as much, if not more, prestige than doctors. Some families are willing to sell livestock, incur debt, or travel hundreds of kilometers just to obtain a bottle of water that has been blessed. Notably, this belief is not limited to the uneducated. Even families with higher education levels, when faced with prolonged illness or helpless against medical costs, turn to spirituality as a last resort. Another prevalent belief in Pakistani life is nazar, or evil eye. People believe that envious or malevolent gazes can bring misfortune, especially to children. A healthy child can fall seriously ill simply from being looked at. Business ventures can collapse because someone inadvertently praised them too much. Thus, you will often see Pakistani children with a dot of black ink on their foreheads or cheeks. This is not makeup, but a talisman. The black ink is believed to make the child less noticeable, thereby avoiding the evil eye. On the streets, trucks and buses are often adorned with large eyes, old shoes, red strings, or charms hanging from the undercarriage. These items are not decorative. They are the driver's way of protecting themselves from accidents in a risky traffic environment. These beliefs are deeply rooted because they are directly connected to real-life experiences. When healthcare is not easily accessible, when hospitals are overcrowded, and when law and social welfare are distant from the poor, they cling to spirituality and view it as their last hope. If you have ever watched my video about Bangladesh, you will see that there are similar spiritual beliefs in both Bangladesh and Pakistan. Since these two countries were once one, they share the same religion, economy, and way of life. Number 6. Pakistan, a place where contradictions coexist simultaneously. If you think of Pakistan as just a dry, monotonous Islamic country, you are missing out on some of the most astonishing quirks in Asia. Right on the dusty roads of Pakistan, there's something that leaves visitors in awe, not the people, but the trucks. Here, trucks are not just for transporting goods, they are mobile works of art. They are called jingle trucks. Each one is painted from head to toe with intricate patterns, mirrors, lights, bells, poetry, and vibrant images. Some owners are willing to spend the equivalent of several years' income just to decorate their vehicles. While many struggle to make ends meet, their trucks become a source of pride and honor. Leaving the dusty streets behind, imagine standing on a plateau at nearly 3,700 meters above sea level, where you can almost touch the clouds. Here, there are no tall trees, no grand houses, just cold winds and rocky mountains. It is here that Pakistan hosts the highest polo tournament in the world at the Shandur Pass. Horses gallop on the cold ground, spectators wrapped in thick blankets, with no luxurious grandstands or safety barriers. A fall here is not only painful but can also be life-threatening due to the lack of medical assistance. Yet, they continue to play. For Pakistanis, polo is a tradition preserved amidst the harsh mountains. Back in everyday life, if there's one thing that binds Pakistanis more than religion or politics, it's tea. Pakistan is one of the largest tea importing countries in the world. Tea appears in every situation. Meetings, job interviews, wedding discussions, and even arguments must begin with a cup of tea. From dusty street stalls to family living rooms, a hot cup of chai is a mandatory social ritual. Refusing tea is seen as a lack of goodwill. And then, in the midst of a strictly Islamic country, there exists a community that completely shatters all stereotypes. The Kalash people, living in the Chitral Mountains, have fair skin, blue eyes, practice polytheism, drink alcohol, and hold public festivals. Kalash women do not cover their faces, choose their partners, and participate in dance festivals. Finally, if you think death in Pakistan is a somber affair, take a look at the Makli necropolis. This is one of the largest cemeteries in the world, with hundreds of thousands of ancient graves stretching out like a city of the dead. The intricately carved stone tombs, domes, and elaborate patterns have been exposed to the sun and wind for centuries. Here, death is not hidden away. It is grandly constructed, publicly displayed, and coexists alongside the lives of the living. If given the choice, what would you most like to experience in Pakistan? Sitting on an artistic truck, sipping street tea, or standing in the city of the dead at Makli? Number 7. The land of the unreal. If you've ever watched the World Cup, seen ambulances racing through the night, worn sports jerseys, or eaten rice from the vast plains of Asia, it's very likely that you've indirectly touched Pakistan without even realizing it. Let's start with a detail that sounds quite unbelievable. About 70% of the world's soccer balls are produced in the city of Sialkot, Pakistan. Not in modern robotic factories, but by tens of thousands of artisans who hand-stitch each ball. The balls rolling on the World Cup fields, watched by billions, mostly originate from small homes with yellow lights, where the sound of needles piercing leather echoes through the night. Sialkot may not be as famous as Milan or Manchester, but it quietly lies at the heart of every major goal on the planet. Then there's something few think of when mentioning Pakistan. The largest private ambulance network in the world, the Edhi Foundation operates thousands of ambulances across the country, from bustling cities to remote areas. Notably, this system is not funded by the government, but exists thanks to donations from the public. When an accident occurs, whether rich or poor, an Edhi ambulance will arrive. In a country rife with instability, this is one of the few things that people place their complete trust in. Few know that Pakistan also possesses the largest contiguous irrigation system in the world. On the map, it resembles a massive network of blood vessels cutting across the country. This system channels water from the Indus River to arid lands, transforming deserts into rice fields. Tens of millions of people depend on it. If this system were to stop functioning, the food supply for all of South Asia would be disrupted. And if you think construction is challenging, try imagining building a road at an altitude of over 4,600 meters. The Karakoram Highway, connecting Pakistan to China, is dubbed the eighth wonder of the world. This road traverses rocky mountains, ice, snow, earthquakes, and landslides. Thousands of workers lost their lives during its construction. However, in return, Pakistan has a strategic lifeline connecting South Asia with Central Asia and China, an irreplaceable trade route. And there's a fact that might surprise many. Pakistan is the first and only Muslim-majority country to possess nuclear weapons. This not only has military implications but also serves as a statement of status. In a region filled with tension, Pakistan is compelled to build a deterrent to survive. Pakistan is not simply poor, dangerous, or chaotic, as many might think. How many aspects of your daily life are quietly influenced by these places that you've never considered? Feel free to comment below and let me know. Number 8. Interesting facts about Pakistan. What were you doing at 17? At 17, Malala Yousafzai was living in Pakistan and received the Nobel Peace Prize. She became the youngest laureate in history to receive this award. It wasn't because she was a genius, but because she dared to do something extremely dangerous in Pakistan: advocate for the right of girls to receive an education. She was targeted by the Taliban and shot while on a school bus. But Malala did not remain silent. She survived, stepped into the world, and turned her story into a global symbol. In a society where female education was once seen as a threat, a teenage girl forced the entire world to listen. Additionally, Pakistan is one of the countries with the youngest populations in the world, with about 64% of its population under the age of 30. This means that more than half of the country consists of teenagers and young people. There is abundant energy and great ambition, but it comes with enormous pressure, a lack of jobs, a lack of quality education, and a lack of opportunities. Amidst this contradictory society, there exists a rule that astonishes and seems unbelievable to outsiders. In the Pashtunwali culture of the Pashtun people, hospitality is an unwritten law. If you are a guest, the host is obligated to protect you at all costs, even if you are an enemy of their family. This is because, in the traditional society of the Pashtun, the state has almost not existed for hundreds of years. Without protection from the government and the law, each family and clan must defend itself. Thus, this is their own code of honor. Now, let's shift to a completely contrasting image from the chaotic streets of Pakistan. Islamabad is one of the few capitals in the world that was meticulously planned from the outset, divided into clear units: administrative, residential, and diplomatic areas. Here, there are no blaring car horns, no spontaneous markets spilling onto the streets. And then there's a surprising fact that many people wouldn't expect. Pakistan is one of the world's freelance powerhouses. Despite imperfect internet infrastructure and occasional power outages, Pakistan currently ranks 4th globally in growth rate and the number of freelancers in the information technology sector. Hundreds of thousands of young people are sitting in small rooms, with fans whirring, working for clients in the U.S., Europe, and the Middle East. They write code, design, edit videos, create AI, and earn money globally without ever leaving their country. Number 9. The strange things that Pakistanis do. If you think that the strange things in the world only exist in documentaries, then in Pakistan, they will far exceed your imagination. In some regions of this country, there are behaviors that outsiders might consider fabricated, but for locals, they are simply part of everyday life. Let's start with something that sends chills down many spines. At first mention, smoking scorpion to get high. While most of the world views scorpions as dangerous creatures to be avoided, in some border and remote areas of Pakistan, they are seen as a natural stimulant. The method sounds terrifying enough. Scorpions are caught, completely dried, then either crushed or the tail is burned, and the smoke is inhaled. Users believe that the scorpion venom, when entering the body through the respiratory system, induces a euphoric state and hallucinations that last for hours. The sensation is described as stronger than cannabis and unlike anything else. The danger lies in the fact that scorpion venom is an extremely potent neurotoxin. Inhaling it directly into the lungs can cause nerve damage, respiratory failure, and even death. Yet, despite the risks, this pastime quietly persists, especially in impoverished communities where modern drugs are hard to come by and medical knowledge is nearly non-existent. Leaving the world of toxic smoke, you will encounter another equally crazy spectacle: Dani bull racing in Punjab. If you ever thought bull racing was about animals slowly plowing fields, in Pakistan, it's the complete opposite. Dani bulls are a famous breed known for their strength and aggression. In the races, 2 bulls are tied to a thin wooden plank. The handler stands on it, without a safety harness or protective gear, as the bulls charge at high speed over a short distance. The crowd stands close to the sides of the track, with no barriers. Accidents are not uncommon. Bulls can lose control, the plank can fly off, the handler can be thrown off, or worse, the bulls can charge straight into the audience. There have been numerous fatalities reported, yet it is this very danger that draws thousands of spectators. For them, it's not just a sport, it's a symbol of strength, masculinity, and bravery. And just when you think you've gotten used to everything, Pakistan shocks you again, this time at the dining table. In many countries, animal testicles are discarded or kept hidden, but in Pakistan, bull or sheep testicles are considered a pricey delicacy. They are openly sold in markets and street food stalls. Trays of fresh testicles are displayed right next to grilled meats, offal, and spices. They are fried, sautéed, or made into curry. This dish is believed to enhance male vitality. If you've lived in such conditions since childhood, would you consider this strange or simply a normal life? Let me know your thoughts. Number 10. Making a living under pressure. If your income is only enough to cover rent and utilities, would you be willing to continue in that job? Try to put yourself in the shoes of an ordinary worker in Pakistan. The average monthly income hovers around $250–300. This figure may not sound too bad on paper, but the reality of living expenses in major cities makes it extremely fragile. With rent, food, utilities, and transportation, a large portion of the income vanishes. There is almost nothing left to save. As a result, hard labor is very common. People work longer hours, take fewer days off, and accept conditions that would be deemed unsafe in many other countries. From carrying goods, construction, driving, to street vending, everything relies on physical labor. While intellectual work exists, manual labor is the backbone of urban life. This pressure fuels the desire to migrate that simmers in the minds of many young people. Europe, the Middle East, the UK, and the US are not just distant dreams, but the only escape they can envision. Many are willing to take out loans, sell land, or liquidate assets just to have the chance to work abroad, even if it means accepting high risks. However, for the majority of the population who cannot go anywhere, the streets become the most direct means of making a living. The street economy in Pakistan is not a fringe phenomenon. It exists in parallel with the formal economy. Just stepping outside, you will see hundreds of stalls selling food, drinks, fruits, tea, and snacks, lining the sidewalks, street corners, and bus stations. These stalls often operate without licenses and lack hygiene regulations, yet they serve millions of people every day. Simply put, they are cheap, quick, and accessible. A cup of hot tea, a piece of bread, or a bottle of water can be purchased right on the way to work, without needing to step into a store. In many areas, vendors place a communal cup of water on the table. Customers drink and then return the cup for the next person to use. They have no other choice. Bottled water is more expensive, and cleaner establishments mean higher costs. With low incomes, people are forced to make trade-offs. The food sold is often placed right by the road, where dust, exhaust fumes, and flies abound. Meat, bread, and fried items come into direct contact with polluted air. But the fast-paced life pushes concerns about hygiene to the back burner. When the stomach is hungry and the wallet is thin, food safety becomes a luxury concept. The street economy also reflects another reality. It creates jobs for millions who cannot secure easier office work. The elderly, the less educated, migrants from rural areas, and women without qualifications all can start with a cart or a small charcoal stove. Number 11. When heat becomes a permanent state of life. Imagine stepping outside at 10 a.m., the sun not yet at its zenith, but the temperature nearing 40 degrees Celsius. It's not the dry heat of the desert that feels pleasant, but a stifling warmth that makes every breath feel laborious. In many cities across Pakistan, especially during the summer, this is not a rare experience but a prolonged state lasting for months. The hot season in Pakistan typically begins in April and can extend all the way to September. Daytime temperatures commonly range from 38 to 42 degrees Celsius, with some areas exceeding 45 degrees Celsius during peak heat waves. At night, temperatures do not drop significantly, leaving the body with little time to recover. The hot air gets trapped between concrete, metal roofs, and asphalt, creating a sensation as if the entire city is radiating heat back at its inhabitants. In such conditions, fatigue becomes a common state. You can observe people moving more slowly, speaking less, and appearing lethargic in everything they do. It's not due to laziness, but because their bodies are constantly battling high temperatures. Dehydration, dizziness, headaches, and heat exhaustion are daily issues, particularly affecting the elderly, children, and low-income workers. For those working outdoors, the heat is not just uncomfortable, it is truly brutal. Construction workers, street vendors, rickshaw drivers, and porters must endure hours under the sun. Without specialized sun protection, shade, or sufficient drinking water, their skin quickly darkens. Their strength visibly wanes with each passing summer. Many are forced to continue working even when their bodies feel utterly exhausted. They cannot afford to rest, as taking a break means going hungry due to lack of income. The heat also brings about a series of silent consequences. The electricity grid becomes overloaded due to the soaring demand for fans and air conditioning. Power outages occur frequently, especially in poorer neighborhoods. When the electricity goes out, fans stop running, and enclosed homes turn into steam rooms. On some nights, residents have to bring their bedding outside or onto rooftops in search of a breeze, fully aware of the mosquitoes and dust. In terms of long-term health, prolonged high temperatures increase the risk of cardiovascular diseases, kidney failure, respiratory issues, and sleep disorders. Many people live in a state of chronic sleep deprivation due to the heat, leading to diminished concentration and productivity. For children, studying becomes more challenging. For adults, work performance noticeably declines. Number 12. The city is growing faster than its own capacity to cope. If you left this city 5 years ago and returned today, the feeling that might easily arise is being left behind. The population has increased by over 20% in just half a decade. Each year, the population grows by about 300,000 people, equivalent to an entire medium-sized city springing up every year, all while being crammed into the same limited space. This growth is evident in the towering skyscrapers that have sprung up more densely, A new metro line runs across the city. Massive shopping malls shine brightly throughout the night. From above, you can see a city striving to resemble global metropolises. But if you look closer, you will also notice its breath is becoming hurried. The problem lies in the fact that people are arriving much faster than infrastructure can keep up. Housing is not being built quickly enough, clean water is not being supplied in time, traffic is constantly congested, and schools and hospitals are struggling to keep pace. The stark contrast is most apparent when you travel from new areas like Baria Town or Lake City to older residential neighborhoods. On one side, there are grand entrances, wide roads, greenery, security guards, cameras, and artificial lakes. On the other side, there are narrow alleys, tangled power lines, closely packed houses, and vehicles stuck in traffic. Two worlds exist side by side, just a few kilometers apart, yet they are as different as two countries. What's noteworthy is that not all new urban areas are developed systematically. Statistics show that only about 35% of new urban developments meet sustainable planning standards. The rest lack proper drainage systems, green spaces, and public transport connectivity. At first glance, they may seem modern, but a heavy rain or power outage quickly reveals their vulnerabilities. The metro helps with faster movement, but it does not solve the enormous influx of people each day. Skyscrapers provide housing for some, but they also add pressure on electricity, water, and waste management. Shopping malls create jobs, but they also attract more immigrants seeking opportunities. Each solution inadvertently brings about a new problem. The most dangerous aspect of rapid growth is that the city does not have time to correct its mistakes. The hasty planning decisions made today will become burdens in the decades to come. When a residential area is built incorrectly, you cannot simply tear it down and rebuild easily. Number 13. The heart of history never sleeps in Pakistan. If Pakistan were a living organism, Lahore would be its heart. Not because it is the largest or the most modern, but because every layer of history, power, and culture of this country has passed through Lahore and left its mark. Lahore is located near the Indian border, in the fertile Punjab region, which has been a crossroads of great empires for thousands of years. This position has kept Lahore at the center of every historical upheaval. Whoever controls Lahore almost holds the key to northern India. For centuries, Lahore was the capital of the Mughal Empire, one of the most powerful Islamic empires in history. It was not just an administrative capital. It was a place where power was closely intertwined with art, religion, and architecture. The Mughal emperors not only ruled from Lahore, but they also built Lahore as a proclamation of their strength. Lahore Fort, Badshahi Mosque, and Shalimar Gardens were not merely structures for habitation. They were monuments to assert, our power is eternal. Just standing in front of the Badshahi Mosque, you will understand this. It was once the largest mosque in the world, capable of accommodating over 100,000 worshippers at once. Its scale was not intended for ordinary religious activities but to overwhelm. Opposite it stands Lahore Fort, a massive fortress that served both military and royal purposes. These two structures stand side by side as a pair of symbols, secular power and spiritual power in parallel. After the Mughal era, Lahore entered a completely different historical phase when it fell into the hands of the British Empire. However, the British did not demolish old Lahore, they layered colonial architecture on top of it. Wide roads, European-style administrative buildings, universities, train stations, and officers' clubs sprang up right next to the ancient Islamic city. This layering is what makes Lahore unlike any other city. You can walk from a Mughal-era alley to an English-style boulevard in just a few minutes. Today, Lahore has over 15 million residents, creating an incredibly vibrant cultural rhythm. It is home to the largest concentration of writers, artists, musicians, filmmakers, and journalists in Pakistan. Pakistanis often say, Karachi makes money, Islamabad governs, but Lahore is where identity is created. It is no coincidence that the most significant intellectual debates, artistic movements, and cultural festivals all originate from here. The Walled City, or the Old City of Lahore, exemplifies this best. Narrow alleys, old wooden balconies, and small mosques nestled among residential areas. The smell of food, the sound of prayers, and the calls of vendors blend together. This is not a historical museum. People still live, love, argue, and trade right within these centuries-old walls. Number 14, where Pakistan's nature exceeds all imagination. If you think that natural wonders are scattered across the globe, then Pakistan is the place that makes the geographical map seem illogical. This is the only country on Earth where the three highest mountain ranges meet in the same area: the Himalayas, Karakoram, and Hindu Kush. This convergence point is located near the town of Jaglat in northern Pakistan. In other words, when viewed from above, it resembles a place where three massive stone walls of the Earth collide. And within this overlapping mountain range, Pakistan boasts a name that evokes both awe and fear among climbers worldwide: K2. Standing at 8,611 meters, K2 is only slightly shorter than Everest, yet it is dubbed the Wild Mountain. The reason is that the death rate, while attempting to conquer K2, is significantly higher than that of Everest. The weather changes abruptly, the terrain is steep, and the ice and snow are unstable. There are no tourist routes like those on Everest. With K2, you either reach the summit through genuine skill and endurance, or you do not return. Thus, despite being lower than Everest, K2 is a more daunting symbol in the professional climbing community. Moving away from the ice and snow, Pakistan also possesses something that seems quite ordinary, yet piques the curiosity of many: the Cura salt mine. This is the second largest salt mine in the world, continuously operating for over 2,000 years. What's special is that all the salt here has a natural light pink color due to its high mineral content. Most of the Himalayan pink salt you see in upscale grocery stores in Europe or America originates from this mine. Inside the mine, a small mosque has been constructed entirely from salt bricks. The walls, columns, and ceiling emit a soft glow when illuminated, creating the sensation of standing in a crystal cave. And if you think Pakistan is all about wild landscapes, the Chongamanga forest will surprise you. This is one of the largest and oldest man-made forests in the world. It is not a natural forest. It was planted by the British in the 19th century to supply wood for steam engines and railways during the colonial era. Over more than 150 years, this forest has developed into a complete ecosystem, teeming with wildlife, birds, and dense vegetation. But nature in Pakistan is not just about mountains and rocks. Beneath the murky waters of the Indus River exists a creature that few would believe is real: the Indus blind dolphin. This freshwater dolphin has evolved to live in extremely turbid waters, to the point where its eyes can hardly see anything. Instead of relying on sight, it has developed the ability to hear, to perceive its surroundings. This is one of the very few remaining species of freshwater dolphins on the planet, and Pakistan is their last refuge. Number 15. Festivals, religion, and culture shape identity. First and foremost is Eid, the most important festival for Muslims. To outsiders, Eid may seem like an ordinary holiday, but if you are in Pakistan during this time, you will see it permeate the very rhythm of society. A few days before Eid, the markets are bustling with activity. People buy new clothes, shoes, sweets, spices, and especially sacrificial meat. The already crowded streets become even more chaotic. On Eid Day, the atmosphere in residential areas completely transforms. Houses open their doors early in the morning. People walk through alleys to greet each other, shake hands, and embrace. The elderly wear traditional attire, while children don brand new clothes, running around the neighborhood asking for Eid gifts. In many impoverished areas, families who rarely have meat in their daily meals receive portions from wealthier households. During those few short days, the divide between rich and poor becomes less noticeable. If Eid embodies solemnity and family, then Basant is its complete opposite. This is the traditional kite-flying festival associated with the city of Lahore. During the Basant season, just look up, and you will see the sky filled with thousands of colorful kites. People climb onto rooftops, balconies, and terraces. Each rooftop becomes a unique observation deck. Children hold the spools of string while adults maneuver the kites, and cheers echo throughout the neighborhood. However, Basant is not just about the beautiful scenery. The kite strings are often coated with glass powder to cut the strings of opponents. When a kite falls, the razor-sharp string can entangle the necks of passers-by or motorcyclists. There have been many serious accidents, and some have even resulted in fatalities. For safety reasons, this festival was once banned. Nevertheless, Basant has not disappeared. It continues to exist quietly in the neighborhoods. And if you think Pakistan revolves solely around religion and traditional customs, the Lahore Literature Festival will surprise you. This is one of the largest literary festivals in South Asia, held right in the heart of the ancient city. Over a few days, historical spaces are transformed into venues for open discussions. Topics such as literature, history, feminism, politics, conflict, and freedom of speech are addressed. Notably, the audience is not limited to academics. Students sit on the ground taking notes. Young people jostle to hear foreign speakers. There are even curious locals who stop to listen and ask questions. Sensitive topics are not avoided. Instead, they are openly discussed in a society often perceived as conservative. And that is the true life of the people in Pakistan. I hope this journey has helped you see Pakistan from a different perspective, not just through familiar news or stereotypes, but through the real lives of the individuals who live there every day. If this video has given you a new viewpoint, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to continue following the stories behind the countries we think we know so well.